Hello, my name is Arthur. In the last video we were working on comments and quotations and getting the quotations to work with comment symbols and work in a way that makes sense for the way the compiler will treat the comment symbols. So we discovered that the compiler will treat this as an end of the comment, even though it's in quotation marks. So we got our highlighting to reflect that fact. So in this video, what we want to do is to make it so that our software can see past this. So my example file that I keep opening up, I've mentioned before, was my first attempt at doing some syntax highlighting, and these are some statements for finding the different escape sequences and format specifiers. So what we want to be able to do is to find one symbol in particular and make our search for quotation marks recognize it. So if we were to look at this, everything is working up until this point here. And what's happening is it's regarding this quotation mark as a closed quote, where we don't want it to do it. We want it to recognize this as I'm not sure. I think that is a type of escape sequence. I think. I'm not really sure what this is called. I know that these are escape sequences. And what this does, this backslash in this event, and I think this event is telling it that we don't want it to be treated like a closed quote. We're trying to make it part of a string or a char. And the same with this one, because the backslash has a special meaning when it's inside of quotes. We have to go, oh, well, we don't want you to treat this backslash like, or forward slash, I'm not sure if that's back or forward. We don't want you to treat this slash as though it's a slash. So we put a slash in front of it to give that direction. So we want our search to be able to find this character in particular, because this should not be being treated like a closed quote, but it is. So in order to do that, I'm not sure if I added this in before on video, but I've added in a new iter called scan. So we'll use that to look for this symbol. And in main, I've added in a color, an orange color for, I'm going to call it specifier. And it's for the different format specifiers and escape sequences. I just use specifier because that's a little less wordy than the color we're going to use for escape sequences and format specifiers. So we're going to have to add that color tag in here. We'll just call it specifier. We'll make the tag, and we'll remove the tag the same as we did with the quote one. So we'll just copy this, paste it, and we'll tell it specifier is its color. We'll call it specifier. And we'll remove that as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it so that that one symbol turns orange and doesn't get regarded as a close quote. And once we're able to get that color onto it will probably prove to be important too. So in order to do that, we're going to have to change this script quite a bit. So what we'll do is we'll clear a space, because in order to do this, we're going to have to do it inside of a while loop. So we're going to nest a while loop in here. It'll be the same as the other one, where we have to break out of it. So we'll get that in place, and we'll give it a closing bracket. The first thing that'll happen inside of the while loop is to do this. So we'll just start cutting the things that we need out and kind of pasting them in. And yeah, we'll just have to get them into place. So we'll do the check. The next thing is if check 2. This is going to need brackets. If there's no check 2, I think our else will be to apply the tag to the rest of the page, because it's not found a second quotation mark at all. So we'll cut this out. The else will be to do this and to break out of the loop. And if that's happened, it will break out of the second loop immediately too, because the second loop is not going to find any quotation marks either. So that's what will happen there. Okay, if check 2 happens, what we're going to do is we're going to go scan equals iter, not otter, scan equals iter. So we'll just look at this from this point of view. So we'll just kind of look at this one as the demonstration. It's found this first one, that's check 1. So it comes into the while loop. It finds the second one where iter will be at the start. So iter would be here, sort of, and end would be here, sort of. It's the easiest way to look at it. So we want our scan to equal iter. We want to move scan back 1 space. So we'll go GTK text iter backward cursor position. We'll make a char. We'll just call it temp. It will equal GTK text iter get char and scan. So in this example, what it should find is the slash at this point. So now we want to test what it finds. If temp equals, we'll do this as a char. We can't just put 1 slash here because the same rule is going to apply here. 1/ will throw a compiler error. It will think that what we were looking for was the apostrophe with 1/, and then it'll go, oh well, there's no closing apostrophe here. So there's what happens if it finds that. Then there's an else. And we'll just keep building our brackets as we go, because this is going to nest in a little bit. So if it finds that symbol, well, if it does not find that symbol, what we will want to do is simply apply the tag. So we would apply the tag, and then I think break out of the loop, because we just found our close quotation. So at this point we would break. Now we have this else hanging out here that we don't need that there anymore. So let's see. Else break, that's right. That's our while loop, that's right. Okay, so if we find that symbol, what we want to do is we want to do these things again. So we're going to move the cursor again, or move the iter again. Let's make sure we're moving the iter. So our iter is scan. And don't forget to put that in there, that's very important. And scan. This time we don't need to declare the char. We'll do the same check. So we're looking for that symbol again. There's if we find it, and there's if we don't find it. So we're just trying to put all of our brackets in as we go, because otherwise it gets too confusing to sort them out. Okay. So if it finds the second symbol, we can do two things. We can go, oh, well, we just found something that should be marked with the specifier tag. So we've both found this symbol, and we know that our quotation is a proper quotation. So maybe we'll come back and we'll actually change that to do that. But right now, what we're going to do is just be more direct. So we'll put this in here, because this is what we would do. This is one of the things that we would do. We know that we found a valid quote because we found 2 backslashes, and 2 backslashes is a different sequence than 1 backslash followed by a quote. So in the event we don't find the second one, that's this event here. So we found one, but we didn't find a second one. That means that we would be applying a tag, but first we need to GTK text iter backward forward cursor position. And scan. We need to put the put scan where we need it to apply the tag. We won't be applying the quote tag, we'll be applying the specifier tag. Um, the position will be in scan and end. And then as the last thing, we want to make check 2. We want to make sure it equals false. So we make sure it equals false, and we don't break out of the loop because we just found the specifier, but we have not done what check 2 is there to do. It's there to find the closing quotation mark. So in order to find the closing quotation mark, it has to stay inside of this while loop. Find it, and yeah, I've actually went ahead with this a little bit, and I think that everything is in place here. And I did do it without changing check 2 defaults, and it refused to find the actual closing quote. So apparently that's important, and I'm not sure why. That's unclear to me why that is, but seemingly it doesn't work without it. So let's go through our things here. So if there's no check 2, it should break out. That's right. If there's no first incident of a slash, it should just apply the tag. That's right. If there is a second instance of the tag, it should go, okay, I found the close quote. It's not this symbol because it's this symbol. And if it doesn't find the second slash, it goes, okay, I found this symbol, and it applies the tag to that symbol. So we'll just check where where all of our brackets ended up. So we could basically go, oh, I don't want to do it that way. I'll end up with them in the wrong place, which would become a little bit visually disturbing. One benefit of putting all of the brackets into these and having a need to is it becomes more clearer, like we can see it come down to the actual end bracket. So that one goes there. And let's just scan. We'll look for any missing semicolons. So that when we compile, it isn't all disappointing. And that looks like that's assembled right. So let's try saving it. We'll attempt to compile, and hopefully that will compile without too much debugging or time wasting. So that compiled right away. That's a good thing. Now all we need to see is that it worked, and that would make this a fairly successful video. Now if it didn't work, then we're going to have to look at what I did wrong. So all of the text past this bar is no longer highlighted. We can see all of the commas are white, and let's zoom in so we can see what went on. The one symbol that we wanted to find is highlighted. This comma is still white. The things inside of quotes are yellow. The commas are white. Everything beyond this bar, these lines for this definition are looking the way that they should. And I'm pretty sure from here we could greatly simplify finding all of the format specifiers and all of the, well, format specifiers and escape sequences by doing that. So the last thing we could look at doing here is actually highlighting this. So let's see, if we were to try to highlight that, scan and end worked here. So I would not be surprised if we simply copy this out. So we find the second one. We have start and end. And this one, I'm not really sure here, but we're going to try just going like this. So we move scan. And we'll see how that works. We'll see if that does what I'm looking for it to do. What that should do is turn all of the 2/ symbols orange. But we'll have to see. So it's a little bit confusing as to how the itters and things work. Okay, so for some reason that's not right. The forward cursor position is wrong. Actually, we're probably going to need a line in here. And it's seeing end as the other side of, so let's try and iter, because iter is quite likely in the right position. So we'll just try it with iter here, and I think that might be what we're looking for. It's a little bit confusing with the tags and the iters because a start and an end tag can exist on one single character. And the iters, they kind of don't work the same way. So it's a little bit confusing as to exactly how to go about doing this. Now, that looks like it's worked. So for now, we'll remember that we did that and that there's some question as to exactly where the tags are. But from the outward appearances, it worked. In the next video, we'll come back and we'll look at doing the search for the escape sequences and the specifiers and see if we can find a way to optimize how to do that. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope that this was helpful and that the explanation for what this is doing is clear. And until the next video, take care.